Okay, we've added our score text. Now I said we have 2 more pieces of text to go, so let's do those now. This piece of text here is the score, so actually what we might do is in Inspector at the top, rename it from text to score, because we want to make this as logical as possible in the hierarchy. So now we have our canvas with the score text. We're going to select score, right-click, and duplicate. And the reason we're doing this is we've established so many of the settings that we want in score, there's no point repeating that yourself. So we want to speed through it by just duplicating. We're going to rename it at the top. Instead of score, we're going to call this the game over. And this will give us all of our game over information. So we've renamed at the top game over. We're going to add the text script, game over, all in capitals. And it will fall exactly where we had the previous one because we've duplicated all of those settings. So we're going to have to change a few things now. The first thing is our alignment. So let's go to alignment, select that, hold down Alt or Option if you're on a Mac, and instead of going to the bottom center, we're going to go top center, which brings him right up to the top of the screen. It's a little bit too close. So on our y-axis, we're going to lower it on the y-axis by going minus about 50 as well, which keeps the negative space even between the top and the bottom. Visually, it's more appealing to have an even negative space. So minus 50 on the Y. And game over is an important piece of text, so we're going to increase its size, maybe to 50. It's a bit big. Drop it down a little bit, 48. Pick what you want, but a little bit bigger than the score. You want game over to stand out. And that's the game over text. The shadow's in place, it's already in the correct font, and the color is what we want. So let's add the next piece, which is telling the user, because this is a user interface, what they need to do to start the game. We're going to duplicate score again. So now we have score has been duplicated another time. Click and drag until, remember the little blue line? We're going to make it a child, not dropping over, but underneath there's a blue line. And we want to make this a child of game over. Okay, I think that's worked. Oh, no, hover until it does highlight. There we go. Learn from me. I'll just do that one more time. Command Z to go back. Click and drag score and hover over game over until it highlights that entire box and then drop it. And it will now child this new piece of text to the game over section. This one, however, is not going to say game over. We can name it right now, but it's going to be the restart text. And the text that we are going to write is, because this is Flappy Birds, flap to restart, which is what we want the player to do. We do need to reposition this as well, so back to the top, hold down Alt, top center. We need to drop it down, and you can click and drag on the y-axis to find the position. I'm going to drag it down until it sits underneath game over. And I'm happy. I think I'm going to start feeling happy at around about 64-ish. Yeah, yay, overwhelming joy, 63.3. And we're going to resize it. It's too big now, so let's take it down 25. Looks good. And one final thing, we're going to go to the game over section. So click on game over. At the moment, this text is going to read the entire time you play. It'll look a bit like this. So I'm going to do a little test play. You don't really want that text sitting there while you're mid-game. So we're going to fix that by deselecting the little box up the top. What we've now done is we've established the presets for the game over text. Restart is a child of game over, and therefore restart has also disappeared as soon as we deselect it. And what we will do is we're going to actually establish some presets later on to enact this piece of text when the bird dies. So we're going to make sure that this is timed correctly. Those are all 3 of your user interface pieces of text set up and ready to go. So once again, save your project, save your scenes, and good work.